Do. Recently I made some videos, and sometimes even I get shocked. I was shocked and confounded by the epic levels of stupidity that I got from some people. Now, on sensors, just like epic levels, they give you all the examples in the world. It's like, you still don't get it. Still don't get it. It is a fact, and it's undeniable, and it is without any ability to argue that dynamic range and exposure have nothing to do with sensor size. Now, if we leave out newer technology versus older technology, of course, this is a given, right? Larger sensors need to be enlarged less for print as well. We know this to be the case, certainly so. When you say, well, a modern DX sensor versus a modern FX sensor, and they both are the exact same sensor except one is cut larger and another one's cut smaller. Which one will perform better? Well, one needs to be enlarged less, but performance and dynamic range per unit area remains the same. But specifically, I had at least like 60 comments from people that have been watching other YouTube photography channels who have just like drilled this BS into their brain, that specifically their statement was, regardless, period, their statement, not mine, period, a larger sensor will always perform better than a smaller sensor. No, that's not the case at all. If that were the case, then, not borrowing modern technology versus old technology, since they, in their own words, have said that, period, a larger sensor will always perform better than a... That's not the case. By that reasoning, my Nikon D3 or D4 should perform better than any modern Sony crop sensor or Fujifilm crop sensor or Nikon crop. And that's not the case at all. Just the opposite is the case. Specifically, regarding croppability, ISO, low light, high ISO noise performance, the Nikon D500, even the Fuji, or even a Sony crop sensor will perform. Oh God. Several values. Well, 3 times as good. About 3 times as good as those larger sensor cameras. Because I am using their own words here in stating that regardless, meaning old technology versus new tech, regardless of that, a larger sensor will always... Well, this is BS. I got medium format cameras. I've owned endless full frame cameras and endless crop sensor. And this is a BS statement. It is a fact. And I've got a sensor here, right here. A Sony Pregis IMX174 or a Startavis IMX290. Now, these are 2 to 4 megapixel sensors. And they're really, 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 really tiny. Smaller than a Micro Four Thirds. So they're industrial sensors. They're not for photography. You know, if it were the case, which it is not, as these countless 100+ idiots have told me, you know, period, a larger sensor perform better. No, it's not the case. These sensors, even though they're 2 megapixel to 4 megapixel, Panasonic makes them too, these sensors perform with nearly twice the dynamic range to a 100 megapixel medium format Phase 1. Did I make myself clear on that? These tiny, 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 tiny sensors have twice the dynamic range and low light performance than a huge medium format sensor. It's like you think that would tell people something. This is where we enter in the cult of personality. It's like all the facts in the world will not sway them. It's like a religion. It's a religion of stupidity. It's like, these are not my beliefs, this is a fact. This is how many more decibels better the dynamic range performance is on these tiny industrial sensors. It's just not the case. It's not the case. There is not a correlation between sensor size as opposed to huge photo sites or eyeballs on the sensor. And there are countless things that play into this. And of course the camera is not a sensor, it's an image processor. I've had several other major YouTubers contact me in private via email. It's like, yeah, I saw your videos, you're right. I don't know why that other guy says that stuff. He keeps saying it over and over again. And please, you know, if that were the case, I'd be just sitting here stroking my Fujifilm GFX medium format. This is medium format, and everything else can suck it. That's not the case. I got all these videos on crop sensor cameras. Why do I have these people coming over and leaving me BS comments about how a full frame sensor is always better than a small sensor? It's like, do you own a medium format camera? Do you have like FX and this stuff is nonsense. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. It has to do with the cult of personality. It's like, it doesn't matter what you say, it depends on how you say it. And this is the cult of personality. It's like, if you say something with enough conviction and charisma, then you could lie, just say stuff that's not true. People will believe you. Because you can do that. That's what charisma is for. It is a form of human strength, of armor. There are 5 types of human armor. Beauty, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, and strength. And charisma is a form of human armor to cover up for a lack of intelligence. 99% of the time it is anyway. Intelligent people don't need charisma. You can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar, but smart people don't need to, it's like, these are the facts, I don't have to convince you of it. It's just the way it is. I had all these people attacking me, telling me the same thing. Period. Without any discrepancy, a full frame sensor will always perform better. That's not true, girlfriend. Light meters have no entry for sensor size. Exposure and dynamic range and local SNR, meaning per square millimeter sensor, has nothing to do with sensor size. Not one damn thing. Nothing. Nothing at all. These are the facts. We're not talking, because they were not talking about newer technology. Just period. Larger sensors will perform better. It's not true. If that were the case, then my full-frame Nikon D3 should perform better than any of my crop sensor Nikon or Fujifilm cameras, and that is not only BS, it's a big BS. I need a t-shirt that says, "Stop the Stupid," right there. Right across the front of it. Stop the stupid. Which will never stop, because one of the trademarks of humanity is lack of intelligence. Not meaning you. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I think I'm a little bit grumpy. I'm getting sick of this snowy weather. I need to move back to Florida. This weather sucks. Global warming my ass. Goodbye.